All right, let's make a new type of chart by coming down here and clicking on the new worksheet. And this time let's make a number to number or a two measure chart rather than one dimension and one measure. And let's use profit again, or profit for the first time, and then sales as another one. We're going to actually play around with a few of these right now. Now notice what we get here. One dot in one spot here. Why is that? Well, because automatically it created a sum of each of these. It added up all of the profit and all of the sales. Where's it getting that from again? Just as a reminder, sales is a column, profit is a column. So it simply went through and just added up the total of each of those columns. Sorry, there we go. Total of each column. And then it decided to put one dot right there where each of those sums meet. All right, well, if we want to truly understand the relationship between profit and sales, then we're going to need a scatter plot, which means we need to disaggregate the data. Now to do this, let's see if I can find an easy way to show this. Up here on my Mac, it always puts these things way up here. I'm going to go to Analysis, and notice that I have this option called Aggregate Measures. I want to disaggregate measures. So I'm going to click on that so that it removes the check. There we go, and notice what happened. Let me see if we can move this back down now. Notice now that it created a separate dot for every record. What does that mean? Well, it came here, and it said, okay, for row 1, sales was, and I assume this is in thousands or something like this, 262,000 by 42,000. And so it made a dot at 262, wherever that would be, and put a dot in that spot. So now it just has a separate dot for every row. So when we get here, profit, the axis right here, it doesn't start at 0 because some of them, looks like we lost money on a lot of these. That's actually good to know. What we want to know though is there a relationship between profit and sales? Now we'll get to that in a minute. Let's explore some others now that we have everything disaggregated. Let's look at something like discount. So I'm going to take off profit and put discount. All right, so now notice that our discount here, it appears that we don't have dots everywhere. They're in these lines. Well, why would that be? Well, probably because we don't offer just any discount rate. For example, discount rates appear to come in 5% increments. 0% discount, 10, 15, 20. We don't offer a 17.5% discount, for example. So the data is kind of bunched up here on certain lines. Well, so the question is as we provide more of a discount, do we make more sales? Does sales go up as we provide more discount? Do they buy more overall? Well, it's tough to say because the more discount we give, the less sales will be, because sales is the total price they paid. All right, well, that may or may not be interesting. Let's change sales to profit. And I noticed the way I'm getting rid of fields, I didn't mention that. All I have to do is click and drag and drop it somewhere off of the column or the rows card. So now let's put profit there on discount. And now we start to see some sort of a trend. It looks like as discount goes up, profit goes down. Well, how do we know that for sure? We'll get to that in just a moment. By the way, notice that, let's see what other options we have for charts over here. I have a bullet graph. I don't think I want to get into that. Bar chart, I don't know why they even made that as an option. Same thing with my box and whisker here. Oh, and then it got rid of my profit, moved it over there. Let's bring that back up and go back to my scatter plot. Oh, notice it reversed them. Let's reverse them back. My little switcheroo button there. What's the fancy? Just give it a name. Swap rows and columns. I like switcheroo better. Anyway, all right. So with our relationship between these, what more can we do? Well, we can provide some filters. So, for example, we've got some outliers here, but I'm not going to get to that quite yet. We could also color code these. Oh, whoops! I just hit the space bar. That reverse. There we go, do that again. That's interesting. Spacebar shortcut to switch those. I didn't know that. All right, let's add in a third dimension here, or add in a dimension. Let's do category, and I'm going to put this on filter. Let's include all of them. Okay, I'm going to get rid of show me, or collapse that, and then I'm going to show filter over here. I just want to see, is this the same for everything? For furniture? Yeah, definitely. It looks like it's the same thing. Let's go to office supplies. Oh, that's interesting. We don't seem to offer all discounts on office supplies, but it does appear to have a downward trend. And then what about technology? Looks like it's the same. Well, how do we really know if this trend is the same on all of them? You'll get more into this in the next chapter, but I'm going to go to analytics. And now I have some options here that were grayed out before because I have some data available. I'm going to click and drag trend line onto this option of linear. So again, I click and then this add a trend line and I drop it here on linear, shows up. And this is a regression line. So it minimizes the sum of squared residuals between each dot and the line. So it's the line that best represents the fit of the data. So now I can go through and try my filter and see, is that line, oh, it's even flatter with office tech supplies and looks steepest with furniture. Pretty close to technology, actually. Anyway, so as I look at these, I'm going to go back to all. I realize maybe I want to filter a little bit by something else. For example, I've got some clear outliers here, and I wonder if those are pulling the data. I could drop in another filter like, let's put, and we go back to the data card, and let's put profit on there. And I just want to get rid of anything outside of, let's just say positive 3,000 to negative 3,000. So I can click and drag this, or just type it in, might be a lot easier. 3,000, 3,000. There we go. Whether or not to include null values, I don't think this data set has any missing values. I'm going to hit OK. There we go. And it adjusted it now 3,000 is my max and min. Well, the chart looks about the same, so it didn't do much. That's all right. Let's see if there's another way to slice up this data to drill down a bit deeper and tell more of a story. Is this any different by region? Well, we've got category in here, so I'm going to grab region and I'm going to put this one on, no, not size, that wouldn't make sense. Maybe shape, because we haven't done that yet. So notice what I get here. All right, I have the X's for, oh, there it tells me, X is west, south, east, central. I'm looking to see if there's groups that are all in certain places, but I can't really tell that because they're all on top of each other. So I don't think that shape was the best way to use region. So I'm going to move region over here to color instead. All right, now this might be a bit more useful. What this tells me now is that in the east I do 70% discounts, quite a bit, and it looks like in central I go up to 80% discounts. Now that's interesting. Why is that happening? Is that because I have different managers over those different areas and I need to talk to them about why they're giving such different discounts? So again, what I'm looking for is I want to find areas where there's big differences. For example, right here, I see all kinds of colors through that. There's not a big difference. And so region isn't telling me much about 20% discounts. Region is, though, telling me a lot about the difference between 70 and 80% discounts. All right, well, that's as far as I'm going to go here on Scatterplots. But again, when we use Scatterplots, trend lines are useful. We can still use color. We also use shape this time. I could still add things to details like we did in the last video, but this is generally how we view two measures or the relationship between two measures.